Hiya, so we're going to make a cute little Triceratops. And so for this, I've coloured some Saracino modelling paste, green. And you can do whichever type of green you want, but I've used the green gel and I've also added a touch of yellow to it as well. So we're just going to work the paste, and this is 60 grams for the body. Work it well, warm it up so that it's nice and pliable. Okay, so now we've got our paste nice and workable. What we want to do is we want to roll into a ball. And now we're going to turn into a cone by rolling between these parts of my hand. So we place the ball there and then just going to roll. So we don't want it to go too long. So I think something like this is fine. Just want a nice little chubby body. Just want to bring that into a little bit more of a point. So I'm gently stroking the paste and bringing it down. Right, so now we want the neck area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to want it to be on the top here so that we've got the chest kind of curved. First, pinch the paste gently together. Okay, so we've got the thickness we want, the position. Don't worry too much about your lines. Okay, and then what we'll do then is we're going to smooth the paste. So we can roll the neck gently to smooth there. If we hold the body and just smooth in there, and then do the same with the rest. Okay, so there's our body. So next we want to work on the legs. I'm going to do each one 9 grams. And what we want to do again is work the paste and then roll into a ball. Take each ball, mark halfway and roll. I'm going to press with my thumb and push the paste towards my thumb to create a nice little foot. So let's pinch that in. Okay, and then go over the ankle area slightly. We want chunky ankles, so we don't want to do too much there. And then we're just going to roll it slightly out. So this is going to be the front. Press that in. So if we push with my thumb like that, and then when we position it, we want to go fairly close to the front. And then what we want to do is make sure that most of the leg is underneath the body because we want it to hold the body up. Push in with my thumb to help attach to the body. So because the paste is still fresh, it will stick nicely, but if not, then just use some edible glue or Saracino Gel. I'm just going to push in towards the ankle just to help with that little curve there. You don't have to, it's just, I just like it to have a bit more shape. What I'm going to do, I've still got this leg, is I'm going to take, in this case I'm taking the sharp end of my Dresden tool, and I'm just going to mark in some toes. I'm going to pinch to round them off a little. And then while we're at it, I'm just going to put in a couple of little creases in the leg. So I'm just going to use my cell stick, and I'm just going to bring the paste like this and smooth it. So now these are the rear legs, and these are 10 grams each. And I'm going to do the same as I did before, and I'm just going to roll the middle slightly, and then I'm going to use my thumb to push against the foot to fit the shape. And I'm going to roll the ankle in a bit more. And now I'm going to do the same as before, but I want more left up here, so I'm just going to push downwards and pinch. So this will be attached at the same type of area as the front legs, but I just want this to be shaped more around the hind. So I'm just stroking the paste, give it more shape like this. Right, so now is a really good time to do the toenails, because once we've attached the hind legs, it'll be very difficult to get to the toes. So I'm just going to work some white paste, and then I've got the Wilton number 10 nozzle. So we'll have 3 on each foot. We want 12. Place each one. And we'll pinch. Now we're going to attach these to the back. So I want to work the tail down a little before we attach. Pick the position I want to put. So I'm going to go for something like this, I think. Check that it's going under the body and then do as before by pinching and pushing into position. And then we're going to put our toes at the front like we did with the hind legs. With this front leg, I'm just going to bring it forward like it's walking. What we need to do with this now is we need to leave it to dry. Now we're going to do the head, and we've got 45 grams of the Saracino here. So again, just got to work it. So we've worked the paste into a ball, and what we're going to do is we're going to make a really short cone shape. So again, we want to roll between the front part of my hand, and we just want to go for something like this. Push down towards the board. Got the point at the bottom here, okay? Right, so now if we place this flat and we take a look, if we was to go about 1/3 of the way up from the base and just roll like this, so then we've got this kind of shape. So smooth the head like this. Check where our point is. I'm just going to pinch the side slightly. For now, I'm just going to mark in where I want the mouth to be. So we want to go quite low, go for something like this. And we're going to take our bone tool, and I'm going to push up at the corner. Now you want the same position on the other side, and we're going to do the same. We're going to push up like this. And now what we want to do is want to smooth this area, so I'm just going to gently stroke the paste down. Same on the other side. And now we're going to take our knife, and we're just going to cut the paste, just going up to there. We don't want to go any further than that. And I'm going to pinch paste, and I'm going to smooth it back as well, because we don't want the bottom to stick out as far as the front. I'm just going to take the flatter end of my Dresden tool. I'm just going to bring the paste down like that, so it's slightly into a point. Now for the top, bring that up slightly to make it easy to work with. Pinch the front, and I'm going to do the same underneath, and then pinch again, and then bring that down into a point. I'm just going to put my Dresden in and just go over our lines like this. So open the mouth again. I'm just going to smooth off where the cheeks would be. To mark in 2 eyes, so I'm going to stay really low to just above the mouth area. I'm just going to work that a bit bigger, and then I want to leave the same type of gap as the width of the eye in a similar position, and just do the same again. Just keep it the same as the other one. I'm going to mark in 2 little nostrils. I'm just going to bring the mouth open again. tidy up the inside slightly. Okay, so that's the head. And what we want to do as well is we want to mark out a slight hollow where the neck would be, because we're going to attach it to the body when it's dry, but we're not using any cocktail sticks or dowels or anything. So I'm just going to open that up, check how it fits. That's fine. So we take that back off, leave that aside, and we're just going to leave this to settle. Okay, so now we're going to fill in the eyes. So we're just using white Saracino. So I'm going to roll a ball just to test how big I want them. So I'll just put that in. So that's a bit too big, so I'll just take a little away. It's trial and error. Okay, so that's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to match that size with the other ball. Okay, so that's pretty much right. Roll them slightly into an oval because that's the shape of the eye. I'm just going to put each one in and press it in. And now what I like to do is push in the side, don't want it sticking out, and then I'm going to push down here and then the same up above as well. Okay, so now I'm going to put in a little tongue as well. So I'm just going to take some pink paste. This is fuchsia that's been paled down with white. We only want a small ball. Just going to roll it into a point, and I'm going to get the flat end of my Dresden and press down. I'm just going to open the mouth up a little and push that in. We don't want it too close to the front, so I'm just pushing it back a little, and I'm just smoothing the back. It'll be hard to see how that would do. Okay, so this is the main 15 grams of the paste here. I'm going to roll it a bit more. We're just going to check it around the head. That's about right, I think. And now what we want to do is we're going to flatten the paste. Roll towards the board. Trim that side, and I'm just going to trim this side too. As you can see, so that's the thicker side and this is the thinner. And I just want to position everything on the head so we can mark in where our horns are going to be. And so I'm just going to bring that round the cheeks. I'm just going to trim this area because we want that tidy and in line, and we want to just bring them a bit shorter. And now we're going to mark in the lines for the horns. So we're going to have our centre line, the lines at the bottom here, and then we're going to divide this bit into 3. So if we do that, and then we can match the other side as close as possible. Just go over. I'm just going to use my circle cutter, and I want to cut in to the paste joining each line here. So can you see we're going to cut that out? So I'm just going to go in like this, and we're going to do that for each section. So just push that in. Then what we're going to do for these bits here, which we're just trimming down, we'll just press down like this. Same on the other side. And now what we want to do is we want to soften the edges. So these bottom pieces, these are going to be a bit curved, so we're just going to do that. And the same here. Blend those in to thin out the cut edge, but also bring it up towards the point. So the same on each part. Now with each end here, push in my cell stick, hold between my fingers, and I'm just going to mark that in there. You can put them on top of the head, and you might need some glue for this. So we're going to make sure that our centre line is in the right position, and we also want to make sure we're not too far forward. So I think that's fine. Push that down towards the head to help secure it. I'm just going to use my cell stick to bring the paste down to attach to the head. So I've just got my fingers behind to secure it whilst I'm rolling. Blend that in. I'm just going to go over my lines again. I'm going to go over my curves. Same with our little indents as well. What I'm going to do here is I don't really want it that full, so I'm going to trim bottom pieces. I think you can play around with that. If you're not happy with it, you know, you could trim some more away. I think this is fine. Right, so now time for the horns. We want 2 balls similar size for the top horns, and then we're going to go a little smaller for the one on the nose. So probably a bit more than that. So we're just going to place those in position. So we want them at the top of the head. Just check your positioning either side, because we won't need them to be similar. And then the one on the nose, I'm just going to push in using my cell stick. I'm just pushing that back up. You can go over your paste if it's still soft. Right, so now we need to put all the horns in. And what I've done is I've mixed a small amount of this green with white. Okay, so we've got 7 little horns for the head shield, mane, not quite sure what to call it. So I'm just going to test that. So I'm going to go for about that size. I'm not sure if you can pick it up, but what I'm going to do is do 7 balls for the mane. Then 2 for the top horns. You can make these whatever size you like really. If you want longer ones, just use a bigger ball. But this is only a little baby, so we don't want to go too big. So something like that. And then we've got a smaller ball for the horn on the nose. Right, so if we do these ones first. So I'm just going to roll into a point like that. And then I'm going to pinch. This just makes it more secure on the head. And I'm just going to push in like that. Curve it round if you want to. Same with the other side. And now for the smaller one, again, exactly the same. And push in. And again, so for these ones, I'm just going to pick out, so let's say this one's the biggest, and then them 2. So it's just to make sure that we have the biggest if there is a variation. Again, squeeze, pinch the bottom. Push in, and then I'm just going to flatten these ones. I don't want them to be too pointed. Okay, so the same with all of these. Pinch the bottom. If you need to, just gently using your hand. And then press. So you do this all the way around. So to do the eyes, I'm going to keep it nice and simple. I'm just going to do black. So I'm just going to work the paste, roll it out. Don't want to go too thin, cut out using the Wilton number 10, as I did with the toes. I'm just going to press them out a little bit into a slight oval, if we can. And it's just because I haven't got the right size cutter, and it's just good to be able to just adapt to whatever sizes you've got, really. I'm going to place these inside the eye. So it's slightly cross-eyed, because it's a cartoony looking dinosaur, not realistic, so we don't want him to look scary. Now we want to add the highlights, and I'm just going to roll 2 tiny little balls for this. Mix a small amount of black and green together. You could just do this with a paintbrush or an edible pen, but I'm just basically just going for a dark dull green, and this is for the eyebrows. We only need a small amount of that, and then we're just going to roll quite thin. And we're just going to cut each one on the face. It's a happy face. I'm just going to, oh no, it's too far over. There we go, he's nice and surprised and happy to see you. Something like that. So do the same on the other side. I'll just copy that one, bring it over a little bit, thumb there, and just curve it round. Just check the positionings on those. I think that's fine. So something like this. Right, I'm going to do some extra details. So first of all, I just want to do some shading. So I've mixed green powder with some Trex to take off the excess, go over the joins, under the belly, under the tail. Get a dry brush, just going to blend that. And then we're going to do the same with the head. Just going to bring into the gap, down the head a bit, like that. Just take that. And I'm going to do the front of the nose and then around the mouth area. I'm just going to use dry brush, blend that. So you could do whatever you wanted really with this, but I've just got some green, mixed it with white and then added some yellow. Roll some balls, flatten them out, attach to the body. And they don't have to be perfect circles, you can spread them out like this. And you can put on as many as you like. And we can put a couple on top of the head. There we go, all finished.